accepting removal. After 40 years, I'll tell what I found. Helping love-struck folks. Watch for a reveal at the conclusion. It will alter their separation view. Therapist's secret. I will tell you the truth because you deserve it, even though they have the gall. So, join me till the end. That discovery requires it. They may have waited all day for this message. Also, if experience anything related to this topic, join our channel and set notifications. We'll post. Never stop discussing important matters no one else will touch. Plain language. Let go is hard. Share your toughest struggle in the comments. Rest assured, you're not alone. Give them this video link. One of their co-workers has the similar sibling scenario. Emotional survival demands solitude, not selfishness. We may now begin. Listen to my tale. True to myself. Poor connectivity is the epidemic. Have the silent one. I repeat, due to our error, love with dependency, give up with destruction, and commit to our identity at risk. Most awful is their betrayal. Inside a love film with upbeat music. Without sadness, love poetry fail. Absolutely ridiculous, pal. Warning. Nonsense disguised as a love story. My name is Walter Riso. I became a CBT and clinical psychologist after decades. Relationships between love and addiction have seen each and everything. Declining versions of themselves, brilliant, intelligent, talented women, from dangerous ties. Both sexes have lost their self-worth, in my opinion, by peace, arrogantly offering it to non-appreciators. My irritation comes from seeing it so often that it doesn't surprise me. I'm annoyed because there must be a better way. Nobody can change that. 10 ways to emotionally distance yourself from others. It destroys you without shattering you on the floor. Your room incident puzzles you. Certainly not easy. The cheap, fantastic self-help recipes that promise happiness in 3 days? Not giving that. Renewed. Distance required. Choosing yourself first takes time, persistence, and most importantly, awareness. Despite familiarity, producing injury. Some background is needed before we get into the details. Fundamental. Love is not relationships. Continue my path. Love is not relationships. Attachment anxiety. Fear of being undesired, unimportant, and alone. Little voice is attachment. That nagging notion that half-hearted dedication or crumbs are better than none. Even the little voice. In the morning, this voice seems persuasive. Our worst nightmare when we can't sleep. How we feel. In love, that keeps you awake because problems with anxiety. Love compels you to check their phone for proof. He betrayed him. Love requires time, respect, or attention. Real love is calm and mutual. Lack of love doesn't grow you. Shrinkage makes you dazzling and free. Why can't we relax? We clutch tightly. Why? A dig at dysfunctional relationships? Head organ. Astonishing and even harmful. It linked neural networks previously related with that individual. If we remember their names, or any, these bonds strengthen with every prospect of change. In reference to our neuroplasticity in neuroscience, thoughts and experiences shape the brain. However, the upside, be careful, this is worth more than gold. The brain built those roads, suggesting it can build others. New, you can become acclimated to solitude. You can enjoy their absence, their bond. A choice doesn't determine your worth. You can learn it. Beyond that, beyond. Psychologically, what is emotional attachment? Doing it is our daily goal. We'll sketch new ones soon. Innovative cognitive processes, strategies, brain circuits. How we interact. My culture valued women's education. Thought women were nothing without men to share their lives and provide emotional support. Missing parts. A short woman. While we have made great strides and enjoy more freedoms, the messages of possibilities linger in our brains, subtly implying that no. Does being whole alone leave us lacking? But that is cathedral-sized untruth. Would you feel complete if you were married, had kids, or had your desired job, basic income job? No one can trade their humanity. Its value is independent of its employer. Nothing can damage its inviolability. Furthermore, in certain situations. Everything changes when you grasp it emotionally and intellectually. Right now, be practical since your visit is about that. You wanted results, not theory. Useful tools. Now we can disassemble. You may learn the procedure quickly using examples and activities. Known and censored. You must first comprehend. Starting with deliberate detachment is key. Unbending, not accidental. Suddenly emerging when drinking coffee is rare. We must withdraw deliberately. Have hit bottom. No more. Choosing myself. I find choice unsettling because it requires leaving what is known, even poisonous. Enter unknown territory. What did I learn from the years? Existing risks scare more than future uncertainties. Very risky. My top therapy question is, I adore Walter. If I love him, how can I leave? Sacred bond? My response is regular. You must love yourself to endure. And growing up to love others keeps them silent. Self-love is selfish. Good selflessness is putting others first, while negative selfishness is not taking care of oneself. Being emotionally well is vain. Another deception must be broken. Do not adore yourself. All strong partnerships are selfish. Then self-love is lacking. You're ignored. Nobody will respect you unless you respect yourself. No way. Be rational. Teaching them how. Regard each other. Sending the message by giving what they want. This meets my needs. Tolerating disrespect will, you say, you can treat me like this. Forgive repeated betrayals. There are no consequences for your actions. Before anyone can, do not use my words to inspire hatred or retaliation. Meaning is, limits are needed, restricted, bound, irrevocable because love overcomes bounds. Mutual respect bridges. Reader, respect is due. That begins. An event that affects everyone is discussed. Assumption bias. Cognitive psychology assumes that our bias is to weigh evidence that supports our beliefs and dismiss conflicting data. Contradictory data. If you think, to believe the person will change, your brain will hunt for clues. Maintain that belief. You might think, see, if he writes a sweet note after weeks of disinterest, if he gives you flowers after a month of neglect, your brain may think, it's changing. He says, you can see he's still concerned about you, unconscious of the 100 times he harmed or disappointed you. He put everything else before you 10,000 times. A detrimental bias. It makes us think what we want and preserves false hope. A substitute. The task requires composition. Fake love stories while we star in a bad drama. Takes action. Most important about detaching. Reducing discomfort is distinct from facing truth. Per your wish. No sugarcoating. It hurts. Accepting that the other person and relationship aren't what you expected is painful. Predicted your future will fail. This needs action. All was, may and never was is gone, but see is pain. Denial hurts, but knowledge helps. Which you prefer? I recognize denial's persistent hold. Choose between mild discomfort that doesn't heal and terrible anguish that does. It's consuming me slowly. Listen, embracing reality doesn't mean becoming. Point, recognizing emotional dependence. This suggests that I support her, but not their treatment. No, excuse or admit the unjustified. The person's actions and events listed below. This link wasn't emphasized. Include fictional chapters with painful parts. I have a childhood story. As a novice therapist, my connection overpowered me, making me the shoemaker who became engrossed in his work. He was barefoot, knew the theory, and could explain anything. Conferences on good partnerships. But I recognized the practices. I stopped judging others after seeing myself in the mirror. My truth was given without hyperbole or explanation. I told myself that this individual can't love you like you do and is emotionally degrading you. Honestly, that snap decision hurt. It was hard to become emotionally liberated. My mind made me remember just what I had forgotten, causing relapses. Lovely. I nearly called the number I erased and redialed on lonely evenings. Every time I tried to save it, I wondered, what is it? Which person is it? My creation or the actual one? The recurring reaction was ape. Second, I wanted fantasy, not reality. Differentiating an idealized person from the real one is crucial because real people don't make us love them. We build romantic connections based on our mental stories about others and their potential. We think they can be better if given the chance. We just need time, love, and patience. We can't force individuals to change. They must want to. When people are internally driven to change, when staying the same is worse than worrying about changing. Love can't be forced during transition. Without change, our pain won't work. No amount of selflessness will impress. But how many? We settle for ordinary relationships, attempt and quit how often? Waiting for a miracle is toxic. How frequently do we compromise? Instead of demanding action, since promises are cheap? Dear reader, anyone can state, I'm going to. Time will differ. Give me another chance. If claims and evidence don't matter, the facts agree. Be honest. Please answer truthfully. Do you forgive the unforgivable? How often do you swallow it? You risk your integrity, decency, and self-respect to avoid being alone? When were you last too busy to spot red flags? Personally invested in objective viewing. I hope they don't criticize themselves. Since honesty is the first step, please answer my questions honestly. Change is possible. Everyone here has been there. Sometimes our rational thought contradicted our terrified feelings. Everyone has had those split seconds of illumination when they see things as they are, followed by denial where we repeat ourselves to stay. That's fine. Being paralyzed is unfortunate, but it's human. Bridging recognition and inaction. Knowledge without action is useless. No amount of watching my videos, reading self-improvement books, or going to therapy will help until you act. Nothing will change without action. Don't destroy every photo. You can leave their country and block them on social media if necessary. It could be as simple as not sending him the item today. Their intended message to him that they will focus on today only instead of worrying about his location or missing you. Protect him. Third, and possibly most essential, is reclaiming yourself. Bad relationships obscure our identity. Despite being thin and open, we became us. Where someone else fills 90% of the room, and we hardly register as shadows or echoes. Imagine a mirror reflecting necessities. Last time you did anything unnecessary? Not for someone else. I want to, not because they wanted your approval, response, or closeness. Number 2, cut illusory ties. In case you're having trouble answering. Here it is. Response. You forgot your group identity. Reconnect. Regaining your pre-relationship self. What made them happy ambitions and hobbies? As they focused, they made friends and improved. More dedicated to strengthening and keeping the relationship. No, we must address those challenges. Walter, I can't become a good person if I just consider my own needs. You'll argue. If you expect others to sacrifice for you without having to, you're selfish. Accepting and addressing your needs is self-care. Self-care honors humanity, while using others is selfish. Maintain order. Self-esteem is as important as identity. Lack of self-worth complements unhealthy attachment like two dancers. If you ignore yourself, you accept everything. Poor treatment. Doubting yourself drives validation. Constantly outside. Self-esteem requires imperfection. Seeing your strengths without focusing on your weaknesses is self-esteem. Self-indulgence, denying and accepting your flaws without guilt, is crucial. Be kind to yourself like your best friend. If your best friend cried and told you your partner was beating her, would you tell her to continue? Maybe you would change if she were more admirable. Love always takes sacrifice, right? Tell her to. She deserves respect and not the bad relationship. Many therapists recommend telling yourself this. The concept makes them sick, but I'm not one to sidestep tough topics. We must confront the fear of. Nobody wants to discuss loneliness, the real demon. Under the mattress, we're independent. As a lonely woman, everyone feels sorry for her because she has no one to talk to or share her life with. I must tell you that. Years of medical experience taught me this. Feeling lonely and isolated does not indicate. Loneliness is empty, detached, and inauthentic. Crowds can make you lonely, especially in committed relationships. Shared loneliness is hardest. Someone hidden, unseen. Being alone in physical solitude is transformation. Something good can come from being alone. Fantastic to grow, evolve, and become yourself. To construct your ideal self without boundaries, demands, or complaints. Also, we fear being alone since we assume. Don't spread it. Women are women. A sorrowful woman who failed and made many great ladies. Some intelligent people persist in unhappy relationships. They loathe them because they can't bear being alone. I discovered something revolutionary. You can be happy alone. Self-acceptance makes it possible and desirable. After building a life and learning to relax and be alone, she doesn't mind being with someone else. So when people will enhance your life, not complete it, since you are perfect, your completeness leads to our fourth point. Development brings peace, the ability to be alone without feeling lonely. A meaningful, purposeful life with many relationships. Genuine. They can survive without a partner. They desire challenges, inspiration, friendships, and soul-igniting projects today. How much work did you do in a dysfunctional relationship? How long have they analyzed their signals to, telling them why to change? How many nights have there been no? As I fall asleep, I remember their cries and chats. My friends protested. Imagine the power. The money would have funded self-improvement, learning, and creation. Competence, health, social networks, goals, dreams. Where and how far? Amazing. Regarding time and effort spent on unsuccessful relationships. I also have something more to offer. I want kids to know that distance does not mean losing love. Third, readjust your thoughts. Separation ends love-related agony. Still care about that person and want their best. Better yet, you can remember the happy times without animosity. That person influences your mood, self-esteem, and peace. Thinking, I loved you, conveys distance. Maybe I still do. I can't prioritize your requirements right now. I'll wonder if you'll call, admire me, or converse. I prioritize myself without devaluing you. Step 5, establish and sustain. Because letting people in and out prevents detachment. Set boundaries. His text will continue if you answer at 3 a.m. Boundaries are necessary to avoid being suffocated by attention. Feel free to limit yourself and embrace yourself. Vengeful means, I am not harsh, eager to surrender, but I cannot. Finally, and most importantly, stick to your limits regardless of your discomfort, anger, or guilt. Even though you think, perhaps I'm exaggerating. To kill you, perhaps I should try again. No, establish bounds. Avoid answering messages after 10 p.m. if you declined. You said you wouldn't. Avoid meetings because you disagree and they're confusing. Assuming you stated. Space for rehabilitation. I swear it aches. Eventually it will. Change causes severe brain pain. The brain requires self-assurance. Knowing suffering instead of uncertain bliss. The brain is not you. You are. They outperform brain intuition. You can watch. Consider their feelings. Decide. Despite your instincts. Chat now. Poor communication generates confusion. Lots of people. I say, we don't have to stop talking to disconnect. What a loaded question. Relationship toxicity decides. This depends on emotional toughness. The question concerns whether they must continue due to their situation, interaction like job or family. I admit that mostly a break from touch is usually best, distance friendly. Why? Because you interact with. You're starting the neural connections. I told them. Recalling past events, boosting hope, and delaying mourning our goals. Release requires grief. Grieving folks require solitude. Someone to discuss your feelings and start. You must adjust your behaviors to imagine life without her. Relationship loss is a process like grief. Denial, not accepting the end, follows anger, where you're upset at someone, yourself, the situation, the universe. Examine all negotiations results. Maybe if I had. Pain produces severe depression. Due of its difficulties, you doubt it will happen. Last stage acceptance permits you. Even if it hurts, you can recall and perceive the link clearly. Bigger goals. Every stage is normal. All are important, though not consecutive. Not next, negation. All gratitude. Enter/exit. The good days will come. Negative days. Between clarity will come periods of confusion. Normal to learn that way. Development must continue. Going slowly and faltering. Maintain progress, even if it seems to be backtracking. We have the seeking aid is the sixth and most important key. Get help. You have company. Forget it. Contact others. Asking for help must no longer be seen as weak. Asking for aid. Strength. Asking for help shows your compassion and fallibility. It's impossible alone. Join support groups and consult reliable friends. Talk to a therapist. Read a book. View an informative video. Subscribe to an audiobook. Surround yourself with self-priority messages. The world will follow, flooded with conflicting messages. Love conquers all, they say. Think maintaining a relationship takes hard and quitting shows weakness. Credibility is absent. Let go of hurtful things to be yourself, not surrender. Choose recipients carefully. You seek help since not everyone is a relationship expert. A number. People may only tell you what reassures them. People may try to make you feel their worries, frustrations. Others give counsel based on their preferences, not reality. Fourth, maintain self-esteem. Your benefit rises. Never know when you need to be confronted. Therefore, surround yourself with compassionate truth tellers. Hit but helped. People with experience. People who have overcome all hurdles and won't judge you. Don't lie to yourself. Professional therapy may help. Your therapist won't offer orders. Find your solution with a qualified therapist. In your honor, it teaches worry management. To overcome incorrect ideas, build new habits. Behavior. Important topic. The distinction between think and remember. We say remember when we recall an incident. Consider it now and go on. Thinking about something repeatedly is ruminating. You annoy yourself because you never improve. In thought, disconnection also causes ruminations. This happened how? How did I err? I was inadequate. Why? Anyone else? Did they adore me? Is it? What if I'd done this? Despite looks, these questions are worthless. Instead of guiding, nowhere but more pain, confusion, and worry. Next, the sixth tip, stop worrying. This is followed by mental processes. Methods exist to identify. You just remind yourself to quit ruminating when you notice others' replacement. Learn to think creatively, not ruminatively. Another option is anxiety anticipation, where you ruminate daily for 15 minutes. Furthermore, you must direct your thoughts there. Basically, awareness is present. Become present without judgment. Rumination puts you in, through time or imagined futures, despite your absence. And truth, your last chance to rule is now. Now, not tomorrow or yesterday. Get used to being present. At the time. Consider your five senses when considering. For what? Think about it. Listen. Smell anything? How does your body feel? Describe their taste? Oral cavity? Doing so lets people forget the past and focus on the present. Also, though, as we're discussing ways, let me share one that works. Writing. Comfort comes from writing. They need not write well. Beauty is less important than coherent. Put all your worries in. Material, paper. Secretly write letters. Documenting it. Wrath, agony, anxiety. Record memories, and then use your wisdom to address such memories. The writing cycle. Things. Step 1 is outsourcing internal activities. Eliminating a low power. Second, emotional processing improves. Very well organized. 3, it shows hidden patterns. While mental. Finally, you appear authoritative. A spiraling situation. This requires rapid care. Explain how brain chemistry affects attachment. Dating, especially early, our brain releases chemicals when we reunite after a quarrel. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. These chemicals relax people. They can bond us and inspire affection. A problem arises when these drugs addict our brains, and when the connection breaks, Our predicament resembles retreat. Indeed, it matched the description. Their ears perk. Physical indicators of dissociation resemble drug withdrawal. That causes their suffering, because their strong desire to communicate shows it. That causes their incapacity. Not only am I over-dramatizing, it sounds problematic. The cleansing procedure, seeing you as the eighth piece. These physiological emotions will pass. Your brain will adapt. Other methods can synthesize similar compounds. Activity releases endorphins. Social bonds produce oxytocin. Fulfilling goals releases dopamine. Sunlight, plants, and meals produce serotonin. Thus, though, let your brain adjust to their absence. Work out, whatever you feel. Despite wanting to stay in bed, hang out with pals. Eat well when time is short. Your hunger may be unusual. Avoid vampire-like feelings and enjoy the sun. Continue routines despite. Structure is essential for brain function. Predictability needs life indicators. Regarding life, my topic is time. Everyone agrees that when time helps everything, but not heals. How you spend time counts. You stay connected after 5 years because of unfinished emotional work. You might also be chained by 6 months of reflection. Describe it. The inner work. No other information was given. Dealing with feelings. 5th, allow loss. Not bury. Disrupt incorrect beliefs. Regain your identity. Create habits. New pals, goals. Instead, active. To be passive is intentional. I want to discuss a hot topic. We often ignore our need for forgiveness. Plus, before you disprove me, I'm not urging all to forget your pain. May forgiveness find you when you need it. Even if it never comes, you're ready. Since I repented, she symbolizes self-forgiveness. I apologize for your excessive lingering. Put previous mistakes behind. Warnings were ignored. Sorry for believing bogus promises. Excuse yourself for gifting. Respect you. Forgive yourself for neglecting yourself. You worked hard and survived. You acquired new tools from what you had. Learn more. You grew stronger. Many options exist. Forgiving oneself doesn't justify actions without harming you or others. Being human is appreciated. Release your crippling guilt. Try not to criticize yourself when you fail. Would have been great, because we're flawed. Mistakes are inevitable. All humans are defective. Blind spots, flaws. Critical number 9. Stock up. Kindness to oneself. Compassion isn't self-indulgence. Not lazy either. Self-compassion involves treating oneself like others. On a struggling relative. Being honest about feelings without embellishing. It means allowing. Feel your desires without self-criticism. Scientist Kristen Neve targets. Self-compassion contains 3 parts. Being compassionate to oneself instead of deep reflection, empathy, and responsiveness. Emotion-driven situation. The 3 components together yield healing space. Come on, everything we think about might be good or bad. If you hear yourself, never stop mocking your idiocy, incompetence. Allowing negative self-talk will keep you miserable. If you hear a compassionate voice, that encouraging voice will push. Listen up. Change your harsh self-talk. Try telling a loved one this to test your limits. Meanwhile, if the reaction is, don't tell yourself either. Shift your perspective. Instead of, I'm so stupid, how could I not have realized it before? Say, I was doing. Enhance my knowledge. With more knowledge, I make better choices. Decisions. Many of you know my next point. I'm thinking about Walter. Yet this is my spirit. We are unique, eternally linked, and one. Romantically, there are no twin weapons. You can only feel complete with one person in this enormous universe. Happy. Soulmates are attractive in poetry, but poisonous in reality. It implies losing that individual is like losing your only happiness in real life. Experience changes you. If you think that person is your destiny, any hardship will feel. Love is suffering, romantic. Actually, millions suffer from. You might get along. Positive relationships with millions are possible. Considerate, helpful. None must be used. Being glad. Putting your happiness on others is disastrous. promise pain. You must work for happiness. Inner outward. Couples can. Joy may enter, not create, your life. Starting there, what happens? How long until they leave? When they change, die, or break up, you feel numb, devastated, and confused. You're nothing without her. Having a strong sense of self outside of relationships is crucial. Therefore, it's identity, hobbies, values, and life objectives are crucial. Live independently. Considering everything makes me. Trail leads to 10, the ultimate, most significant key. Stop striving to impress others to find yourself. Since I've been, relationships, especially attachment issues, we change and adapt to fit in. What another wants, we lose wholeness. Probably stop noticing. He dislikes some buddies. Maybe you left some. Hobbies because you found them stupid. Perhaps you dress formally. Fresh understanding changes thinking, saying, and acting. It may reduce dispute or increase consensus. Also, it wasn't. Now I'll hold them accountable. Not everyone does this. This is adapting to a partnership demands that. But when that change produces issues, nullification, while disconnecting, asking who am I really, while grief is good, what I love most, what matters to me, should I go which way? My life is where, instead of shame or guilt, answer honestly, distant from others' norms. Time to renew. Blood, sweat, and anguish accompany birth. Create emotional habits. Another beginning awaits despite sadness. You can imitate others. A more honest, powerful, and intelligent self that opposes compromise, values it, and choose partnerships that improve your life and set limits. In case you wondered, detachment is cold, rigid, and loveless. Healthy distance doesn't preclude love. It can lead to, since one is free from harmful relationships, genuine affection. You may achieve your potential when you quit expecting external approval to boost self-esteem. You can approach a connection fully, compelled. Healthy or unhealthy relationships depend on that. Happy coupleship. Two people live together. When two dependents. Incomplete people seek completion together. Even worse, it always fails. No one is complete, including you. Yes, I can help. So, let's review since there's a lot of material. The 10 most important painless detachment tips. Accepting reality may hurt. Starting with identification, opposed to the ideal self. In stage 3, own yourself. 4, learn to be alone without loneliness. Rule 5, limit and enforce. Guard your position. Ask for aid. 7 total. Stop focusing on the past. 8, find causes. Neurological support and attachment. 9, exist. Promote the rediscovered identity and self-compassion, total 10. Now I'll finish. Assure you, I said I'll tell most of you an embarrassing secret. Therapists hesitate to say, disconnection is inevitable. My explanation, pain is a choice. Grieving, longing, and moving on are normal. Heart and brain adjust throughout grief and pain. That hurt is real, vital, and part of adjusting to a new world. Humans cope with pain via suffering. We both believe we will always be alone and no one will find us. My greatest years were spent. I failed. We tell ourselves stories to explain our suffering. History is optional. You can grieve without self-destruction. You don't have to hurt yourself to miss someone or remember. Differentiating element between inevitable pain and purposeful misery. Because freedom requires power. People feel feelings and grief, but you can choose to suffer. You control your pain story despite the agony. This story's protagonist may be a victim or hero. Too little, too much, an ending or fresh beginning may be the story. I don't try to minimize your grief. Positive and prepared. Even under difficulties, you must make decisions. How will you interpret that pain? Whatever you do, nurturing or not, that surrounds you, choose, honored reader. This is reasonable. However, some may say, yes, Walter, it's annoying. These most crucial and arduous tasks determine their fate on this side of the bridge. Freedom, serenity, and love come from detachment. Being healthy makes it worthwhile, and they're not alone. Millions have given up. You're in agonizing pain, afraid they won't live. They lived. stronger and more resilient, smarter, fuller, and capable. Your qualities are complete. So I won't say, find it easily, wash, polish, and shine. There's more to detachment than insignificance. No connection wastes time. Every ending, including bad ones, teaches us. Breaking patterns, healing scars, and conquering obstacles are vital. Setting things up displays our affection, and not. Accept lessons, progress, and pain. They will help us become who we want to be. You loved, risked, and suffered. Study hard without affecting your mental health. You know, don't repeat mistakes expecting different results. Insanity. While discussing patterns, consider, is this their first bitter separation? Is it recurring? More work is needed. Why always pick the same ones? Of someone? Why are repeat relationships boring? Patterns can imply deep inner healing. For those who never experienced unconditional love, if you realize love must be, you may seek it from uncaring partners. Your lover may expect you to work hard to earn it. You must heal, but your pain is not your fault. Priority 7, self-care. I think your burden is unreasonable. I can help if you didn't create the first harm. In addition to unfair, lifelong ruts are. Healing is neither continuous nor sequential. Eventually, your decisions and responses vary. You stop in a new spot after being pulled to diverse people. It's lovely that your emotions stay the same despite evolving, healing, and strengthening. Thinking about this a few months later, looking back, you'll see how far you've come and how quickly that obstacle vanished. Truth makes life richer, more genuine, and uniquely yours. How do you tackle next day pain? Continue to wake up, shower, and dress like today? Eat breakfast, take baby steps, keep your word, prioritize self-care, etc. You keep going till morning. Pain gradually subsides. You may think of someone new, then another day passes without her on your mind. Memory fails to return. Crush on yourself. Remembering her may generate longing without. Desperation is knowing without identifying. Detachment, not indifference, coldness, or emotionlessness, is time passing. Comfortable distance allows you to look back without regret. Anger, courage, letting go of the past of love and trust anew. Overcoming fear and fearlessly moving forward. It will happen, but not today or tomorrow, from strength, not need. Work hard, set limitations, and, being considerate, you seek for aid and work hard. Please remember something vital until then. These moments transcend their worst day, mistake, or relationship. Their strength, resilience, is theirs. Loving, expressing yourself without fear. Their drive to grow. Today's setbacks are transient. Light reveals strong people. Let me share my awful love stories lessons. Relapses have happened throughout my career, but no one talks about them. Congrats on feeling powerful. Relapses are part of letting go. After days of forgetting, music, perfume, place, or day reminds them, without writing on the calendar, and you're back on the floor. Relapses don't undo my progress. These are typical human traits, not failures. Progress is more like 2 steps forward, 1 back. The most important thing in trouble is to keep going even if you fall. Avoiding feelings causes relapse. Rise. Remember why. Cry if necessary. Decision. Keep going, value yourself, and set goals. Go forward. A plan for setbacks, which will happen, is invaluable. List everything you can do to prepare. When you need that person's company by phone, walk, or note, reading key book chapters, keeping a daily journal, or watching an inspiring movie. Meditation, uplifting music, and exercise help. Prepare ahead of time so when you can't think or decide well during an emotional crisis, you should have given your future self resources to use if your current self struggles. Note that detaching does not mean you can care despite being emotionally detached. It can no longer assess your concern level. Since your mental health has improved, you no longer let them hinder relaxation. Despite his love, willingness to change, or influence on your life, there is a proverb, thanks for letting me love you and choosing myself. Having emotional distance from someone does not mean abandoning yourself. Both are possible, but you must choose between health and. You must prioritize yourself in a partnership. Never let this depress you. It has nothing to do with your character, sensitivity, or love. A person who loves himself enough to expect more. What you need, my dear reader, is a relationship. It works without abandoning who you are. I know many of you. You dread closing the door permanently if you give up hope and detach. Dread is natural, but it removes all possibility of a future with that individual. Part 8, Release. Because allowing oneself get emotionally linked to that hope and stay there is unhealthy. This delays your recuperation. If that, despite their geographical distance and diverse backgrounds, this love will succeed. Mature when life circumstances change, yet unable to operate amid intense sadness. Freeing yourself from toxic attachment benefits you and others. Letting go realistically and totally is possible. Ignore I'm going to attach myself, so he realizes my worth and comes back. You're influencing the other person to do what you want instead of going away. Attempt at manipulation, especially as self-care, fail. True self-improvement needs, this is what I need to do for myself, regardless of other concerns. This answer from the other person must be unconditional to work. It actually frees you. Speaking of nerve-wracking stuff, let's speak the effect of social media is hard to escape today. They're viewing their social media, images, and reading about their life. I advise against checking updates, since seeing him happy when you're sad is dreadful. Easy enough to block or unfollow them temporarily. Keep up with their lives is worthless. Sometimes mental well-being is more crucial than appearing like a distressed adolescent. This is more essential than appearing mature or uncaring. Don't keep quiet. Help others grieve. Take care of yourself and heal. Appearances count. Block their social media accounts and send any messages. Collecting charity donations and substantially modifying your habits too. Until you meet him, don't feel guilty. Gracious maturity will come. Retrieved. We mourn. Another social media tip. Don't give in. Want to insult them. Be calm and don't use social media to hide problems. Military or indirect communication. You'd seem immature and stay addicted trying to comprehend your feelings. Write down feelings, discuss them in therapy, or tell close friends. Not publicly. Open, hidden from that person, because it always leads to what? Assigning authority shows you value their opinions. Keeps quiet by gently leaving the spotlight. Leave quietly, rebuild your life alone, and change. While healing, imagine your ideal existence. What do you want to create with anyone? What fascinates you? What goals have you delayed? What life adventures do you want? Stop being that and create the life you want. Relationship without bargaining or compromise. Your goals, no one else's. It may be great and overpowering. Fear of ultimate independence. Excitement of discovery. Two can coexist. As you recover from heartbreak, imagine a better future. Record, map list, or collage everything. I want all. Since your mind needs a destination other than the past to progress. Without direction, it will fall apart. Don't dwell on the past. Use it too. Encourage her to start something new with relationships. All connections, not just romantic ones. Due to strong familial, local, and belonging ties. We need connection because we're social. A meaningful connection is lost in estrangement. Instead, build new ties to fill the void. You can't replace someone, yet you're not alone. Being liked, having a home, and valuing yourself over others. I hope you evaluate your support system and lessons learned as you heal. Every interaction shows our habits, scars, and weaknesses. Focus on your success from this encounter, not theirs. Should you check for warning signs and tighten restrictions? Remember when we discussed this? What personality traits need improvement? Have unmet needs? What will you do? Answering uncomfortable questions requires brutal honesty. Due to things, duty without guilt is essential. It's not your fault that someone else slipped up. Being aware of what you permitted and refusing empowers you. Big changes are coming, including letting go of the past. You will reduce and refine, and that polished version has. Instead of preserving the relationship's past. Unpleasant. This is rare since it entails mourning oneself and another. Valuing your identity and relationship. Your aspirations and plans must fail. New things require darkness. You want to stay in bed all day sometimes, but you wonder if it's worth it. If you feel like you're wasting time, return or stick to what you know. I hope you remember why you started and recognize that bad is better than uncertainty on such days. Remember all the tears and hardships that bond created. Every time you doubted yourself and friends thought you deserved more. Option 9. Independence over reliance. You repeatedly pledged to leave if it happened again, but didn't. If necessary, write down your reason for leaving or considering quitting. Refer to that list when weak. Your logical mind can again rule your emotional one because your emotional brain is impulsive like a kid, acts rapidly, wants instant reward, and unleashes inner kid when hurt. Yell, text, and seek family consolation while. Yes, it could be damaging, but your mature, logical mind knows it would only. To hurt more, act like the responsible adult for the anxious child. Tell him, I sense your fear. We'll be all right despite the pain. Trust me, this is temporary and worth it. Long nights of misery, pain, and uncertainty will pay off. Long wait, but ultimate independence and wellness are worth it. With honor, when you can admire your inner strength. To know that your worst hour made you great. Your better self will await after this. After getting rid of junk, it will appear. It performs its purpose with teachings and traumas. Restorative, restricted. You're more. Smarter, stronger, and more lifelike versions remain valuable. The sincere lover who understands when to depart. Think positive, not poor. Choose willingly. Every day you divide. Don't trade health for familiarity to become that person. Keep on even if you're closer than you believe because we usually quit before the worst. The moment of breakthrough is imminent. Things will improve greatly, but we're turning a corner. Continue even if you crawl or walk slowly. Repeat despite failure. Every day without interaction is lost. Every day you prioritize health. You build strength. Respecting constraints extends self-discovery by one day. Wake up and leave in 6 months, a year, or sooner. To realize you didn't think about them all day. It may be startling. The end is sad, but mostly it will. First freedom, then another day, a week, then remembering that person will become neutral or pleasant as you realize what. Dear reader, you will be able to accept the negative without becoming angry and appreciate the positive without making it perfect. We want emotional liberation, not apathy. No animosity, only calm, remembering without being burned, loving and losing without regret. Bewildered, you will choose love again from that peace. You'll love differently knowing you can suffer without fear and love from strength, not dread. Individual, so your partnership commitment is real. Strong need, setting early limits will teach you love without giving up. Personality, love entails addressing both parties' requirements. Love wisely, knowing when to remain and leave. That's it, pal. True love, the only kind worth having, takes labor. Escape your history, overcome your limits, and fly. Be gentle to yourself, sweetheart. Don't worry or judge yourself. Regret disappointing you. Grieving takes time for everyone. One person may take 3 months, another a year, and it is. Your quality matters more than speed. Confront feelings instead of denying them. Do not repeat mistakes. Seek professional help. Therapy takes guts but pays off. Recognizing support is wise. A qualified therapist can speed things up. Repair and provides new insights, skills, and tools. It assists quitters and the blind. If therapy is too expensive, there are alternatives. Online tools, books, and free support groups are available. Only this video is missing. No restrictions. Never let go, never hang on, only captured. Being in purgatory is horrible. While doing, act on your decision. Celebrate minor achievements. Remember skipping their profile? Days you didn't talk, felt great briefly, and laughed. When you succeed, celebrate everything. Progress comes from small decisions and acts. Minor wins add up to major ones. Significant changes. After you cross, free and joyous, I wish. Please assist me or other women. 10th point, free love. Give your wisdom, experience, and resilience, because the final healing is turning grief into to help people with your knowledge. When it illuminates a hidden way, that would imply your pain was worthwhile. What tore you apart becomes something bigger. Human resilience is well known. We crumble amid hardship, but we rise anew and the lines fade. Today, fractures may strengthen. You may be hopeless with no way out. Light is at the end. If you trust me, you may not notice, but each step, bring it closer. Once you arrive, reflecting on your adventure will give you pride and success. I admire your bravery, perseverance, and decision-making. Choosing health over familiarity will make you proud. The woman you are now and the one waiting are direct descendants of the woman you chose to no longer be. Keep going because you can, he says. Dear, I've waited for this and it's worth it. Be kind to yourself throughout grief and go forward. Get over this attachment and heal. The best is ahead. An unrealized, irreplaceable self. Overcoming challenges. Millions have done so. Millions of women went through this. You survived. You will overcome this challenge like them, and no lady can stop you. After heartbreak, she's unstoppable. She learns her self-worth by losing and regaining it and accepting less. Since learning her lesson, she no longer dreads solitude. An independent woman will emerge. Nice. Relax, wipe away the tears, and move on. Finish steps 1 through 3. You don't need to see the whole staircase. The next stair leads to the top like the last. Something new with clean air and nice evenings, whereby you smile uncontrollably without thinking about the past or future. Rest easy, freedom and truthfulness ghosts. Right there, love. Keep reading. You belong here. Whatever the challenge, setback, or quantity, don't give up if you fall again. Keep making excellent choices. You deserve a good life, love, and contentment. You deserve mountaintop pleasure and calm. Stay away and fearlessly continue, believing in your work and hoping for the best. Ending thoughts. You can already have the life you want. Just seize it. You'll realize in freedom that detachment gave you independence, not sacrifice. Not much is needed to regain life, freedom, and peace. I appreciate you sticking with me, believing me, and paying the price. Face your pain with courage. The video, thank you for choosing yourself. Ask questions, share experiences, and subscribe for more useful stuff to help you grow. Remember, detachment, not affection, creates self-love. Reader, you will change your life. Until our next video, take care of yourself for health and pleasure. It's significant.